You are with the Dreaming Physicist, a quiet guide through wonder. Subscribe if you wish to drift deeper. You're resting now completely still. Your body has softened. Your thoughts are slowly loosening their grip on the day. You breathe in, you breathe out. And somewhere between those two motions lies a delicate pause, the sliver we call now. It doesn't flash. It doesn't hum. It doesn't scream for attention. Yet every experience you've ever had happened in this quiet moment. Every emotion, every idea, every breath you've ever known, each one was born in this present. Hush. Time begins here with noticing. And now, you're noticing. You feel your body sink a little more into its resting place. Your chest moves gently, a slow tide of breath. You listen and the silence greets you. The stillness between all else. That noticing your calm gaze of attention is the first step into time's river. Let your eyes fall closed. Let the now wrap itself around you like warmth. It isn't noisy. It's not urgent. It doesn't race by like seconds ticking away. It moves slowly, like your awareness drifting inward. You aren't chasing time anymore. You're floating within it. We often imagine time as a thing outside, us numbers on a clock, days on a calendar, a deadline inching closer, but that's not where time truly lives. It lives inside of you. It pulses with your heartbeat. It blinks with your eyes. It stretches forward with your thoughts, or curls backward into memory. Now is the place where nothing else intrudes, no yesterday, no tomorrow, only this moment. And yet, this moment slips past the second you reach for it. It's here, then, gone, replaced by another moment, just as soft, just as fleeting. You are not the only one flowing through this. Trees carry time in their wooden rings. The moon follows its rhythm, waxing and waning. Birds feel the seasons. Everything moves, even the mountains, even the stones, though we call them still. All of it, every shift and whisper, unfolds in the vastness of now. Try to find its edges. Where does now begin? Where does it end? You cannot draw its borders. It refuses to be pinned down. It's not a dot on a line, it's the breath itself. Now is the only place life truly happens. Not in the past, where memories rest like faded photographs. Not in the future, where possibilities lie unopened. But here in this breath, this softness, this space between day and sleep. And yet the now isn't frozen, it glides. You won't see it move. You won't feel it slip past. Just like how light fades, unnoticed, or how sleep doesn't arrive all at once, but like fog, softly settling over a quiet lake. Asterisk, asterisk. So what is time, really, when you are this still? It doesn't feel like a tool. It doesn't act like a ruler. Not here, not now. It becomes something else, entirely a quiet presence, a companion who walks beside you, never rushing ahead, never lagging behind, just there, breathing with you. Some thinkers have said that time is a dimension, like space, a way to measure motion and change. Without it, there would be no cause and no effect, no stories to follow. Nothing would come after anything else. And yet, right now, you are part of that unfolding. You, your thoughts, your gentle heartbeats, your breath softening into sleep are writing a page in the story of time. There's no rush to turn it, no race to win. Time is not chasing you, and you are not falling behind. It's a river that moves beneath you, carrying you along gently, if you allow it. Listen closely. Do you hear ticking? No, there is no ticking, no urgency, only the quiet rhythm of your being. Time is not a thing to conquer, or chase, or trap. It's something you feel, like sunlight resting on your skin, or the wind brushing softly through trees. Maybe that's why the present is so difficult to stay in. It doesn't demand your attention. It doesn't shout. It only invites. And because we live in a world that pulls at us, always planning, remembering, moving, the invitation can feel unfamiliar. But here, in this moment, where story and science meet, like waves meeting the shore, You are allowed to accept it. You are allowed to pause, to stop reaching, to stop listening, to stop remembering. Just be. That too is time. Time isn't only in the moving, it's in the stillness, the breath, the hush, and in that hush, something deeper begins to settle. You sense it not just around you, but within, a strange, beautiful truth. That time isn't only passing nearby. It is you. It is within you. You are not watching the ticking. You are the ticking. You are the unfolding. You are the now. And if the now is soft, then time too is softer than we imagine. It is not a machine counting down our days. It is not a chain pulling us forward. It is a threaded, gentle, golden line connecting each breath, each heartbeat, into something meaningful. As you lie here, still and weightless, on time's quiet current, you begin to sense the depth of the river beneath you. You feel it now, how far it stretches, how long it has carried life, and how, even this moment, right here and now, is part of something greater, something older, something unseen. Because even while your body rests in this soft place of silence, it is not truly still. Inside you, something continues. Something keeps time. Your breath, your blood, your rhythm, all moving, all ticking, without a sound. But what kind of timekeeper lives inside you? And how does it always seem to know what hour it is even when you're lost in dreams? Let's listen closely now to the soft rhythm of your body. A metronome ticking gently, whispering in its own silent language. You are still here, still lying quietly. Your breath is steady, slow. Your mind is beginning to melt into mist. Yet even in stillness, your body continues. It isn't rushing, it isn't loud, but it is moving with rhythm, with pattern. Deep inside, there's a clock, not one made of metal or glass, not powered by batteries or wound by hand. This one is made of molecules, an intricate and silent symphony of time. This clock doesn't tick, it pulses, it hums. Your heartbeat is part of a gentle thump, a steady beat. Lubed up, not too fast, not too slow, just enough, just right. Beneath that heartbeat, and even beneath your breath, there's something more, a quieter music. A rhythm set by cells, chemicals rising and falling like invisible tides. Genes turn on and off, proteins dance in shadow and light, all of it timed with astonishing precision. This is your circadian rhythm, your built-in daily rhythm. Circadian means about a day, and you, like Earth itself, are made for the turning of the planet. You are a creature of light and dark. You wake as the sky brightens. You grow heavy as the light fades, not only out of habit, but because every cell in you remembers the sun. This rhythm is ancient. It's wired into you. In the center of your brain, near the base, lies a tiny bundle of neurons. It's no bigger than a grain of rice. It's called the suprachiasmatic nucleosa. Name so soft and winding, it could carry you into sleep just by being spoken aloud. But its job is simple. It watches the light, it listens for dawn, and once it sees it, it speaks to the rest of you. Wake up, it says gently, quietly, and your body listens. The message travels outward, to your skin, your gut, your muscles, your thoughts. It's not just time passing, it's time being broadcast from within. Hormones rise with the morning, light like cortisol, lifting you from stillness and into movement. Other hormones rise with the dusk, like melatonin, which whispers, it's time to rest. Even your hunger listens. Your stomach follows its own inner clock, releasing signals not randomly, but with rhythm. These systems don't wait for your permission. You don't have to ask them to function. They know. They've always known. Before cities, before clocks, your body was already keeping time. Imagine it now. The tiny gears inside you, not made of brass or steel, but of proteins, that fold and unfold. Signals whispered from one cell to another. Genes that open like petals at dawn and close again when the stars return. This isn't magic. It's the quiet poetry of biology, and the rhythm doesn't end there. You are made of many rhythms layered delicate, each one playing its part. Some are short, pulsing many times in an hour. Others stretch long, moving with days, with weeks, with seasons. And all of them keep time without clocks. There are rhythms in your heartbeat, rhythms in your breath, in your blood pressure, in your temperature, in your alertness, in your dreams. Even the tiniest part of you, your cells, carry time, like lanterns through the dark. They know when to work, when to rest, when to repair, when to dream. These cycles are older than your name, older than stories, older than the ticking of watches, or the counting of days. They are threads connecting you to every living thing that came before you. This is the deep time of the body, and somehow, through all of it, your body listens. It listens to the turning of earth, to the arc of the sun, to the pull of the moon, and in return, it speaks in its own language, through warmth, through hunger, through sleep. This is not random. It is not chaos. It is order, gentle, flowing, patient, a kind of wisdom that lives beneath thought, beneath worry, beneath even memory. Your body does not rush. It does not panic. It trusts the rhythm, and so can you. Because when you lie down to sleep, you are not shutting off. You are tuning in. You are stepping into the great rhythm that moves through everything. In the quiet, you can hear it more clearly, the slow tide of your breath, the soft current of your thoughts, the hush of the world falling away, and within that hush, you are held not by time as a burden or a chain, but by time as a cradle. It doesn't push you, it rocks you, it doesn't hurry you, it carries you. And now, as you drift at the edge of wakefulness, your body still breathing, your mind unspooling its final threads of thought too, are exactly where you should be. Asterisk, there are rhythms shorter than a day, waves that shape your attention, sway your moods, and guide your levels of alertness. And then, there are rhythms longer than a day, like cycles of hunger that change over a month, or the ancient rhythm of the menstrual cycle. Time inside you doesn't tick like a clock, it flows like a sea, with tides rising and falling at their own tempo. Each one blends with the others, dancing in harmony, overlapping gently, even while you sleep. Your body follows a schedule. Even now, you shift through stages: light sleep, deep sleep, dreaming, and the pattern repeats like a gentle carousel, slowly churning through the night. This rhythm of sleep is ancient, woven deep into the story of life. Even the smallest living things, single-celled creatures with no eyes, no mind, and no mouth, still sense the day turning. They know when it is time to rest, and so do you. But in our world where screens glow late into the night and noise hums, long after dusk, our internal clocks often lose their bearings. We stretch our days too far. We rise too soon. We sip caffeine when our bodies softly whisper for stillness. We bathe in light when our cells plead for night. Still, your body tries to listen. It recalibrates. It forgives. Each morning, when light touches your eyes, your internal clock begins again. It listens patiently. It finds the rhythm once more. That's something comforting to hold on to, that, even if your thoughts are scattered, even if your schedule falls out of step, your body is always trying to return to its calm and steady beat. And maybe the best gift you can give it is your attention, to pause, to listen, to let the rhythm come back. Rest when your body calls. Rise with the light, breathe with intention. Stop chasing time like a task to be tamed. Instead, feel it like a lullaby, humming through your bones. Because even now, as you lie quietly, your body is not still. It is adjusting. It is resetting. It is sinking deeper into the balance of sleep. You are not a machine ticking perfect seconds. You are an ocean swaying gently with the moon. And maybe now, right here, you begin to sense something. That your stillness is not emptiness. It is motion, to a soft, silent pulse beneath your skin. And if your body can measure time with such beauty, You might start to wonder, how did we measure time before there were watches? Before alarms? Before numbers lit up on glowing screens? Maybe the answer isn't inside you but above you. The sky was once our teacher. It told the time before we had names for days, before hours had numbers, before time had hands. Long ago, we watched the sky not to measure time, but to feel it. Tonight, you return to that knowing, not by traveling, but by remembering, by closing your eyes and turning upward inside yourself. Picture lying in soft grass. The air is cool. The night stretches overhead, wide and still. It's deep and dark, but never empty. The stars twinkle softly, and the moon drifts silently over the trees. And in that quiet, you begin to feel time again, not as pressure, but as presence. Not something you chase, but something you belong to. You are not the first to do this. For thousands of years, people have looked upward to understand time. The sun was the first clock. It rose from the east. It reached high at noon, and it slipped down behind hills to close the day. The sun's path carved shadows that stretched and shrank long in the morning, short at midday, long again as evening returned. We read those shadows, and they taught us hours. But the sun did more than divide the day. It marked the seasons. As the year turned, the sun shifted its path. It rose from different points on the horizon, higher in summer, lower in winter. From this slow arc, we learned when to sow seeds, when to harvest, when to pause. No numbers were needed, no clocks. We simply looked, we listened, and light itself told the story of time. And when the sun slipped away, the night sky offered another kind of rhythm. We turned our gaze to the moon, round and glowing, then thin and hidden, then round again. Each cycle unfolded across 29 nights, more or less. The bodies of women echoed this pattern. So did the ocean tides. That's why we call it a month from moon. But long before the word existed, the rhythm was already felt, a silver pattern, threading gently through the night. And higher still, beyond even the moon, the stars whispered time as well. Anyone who's watched the night sky long enough knows the stars do not stand still. They rise, they drift, they vanish. Just like the sun, they move westward as the hours pass. And across nights and weeks, they shift again. Constellations come and go. Some disappear for a season. Some return like friends you haven't seen since childhood. Orion returns in winter. Scorpius arrives in summer. Their journey told us something deeper about where we were in the story of the year. To the people of long ago, this wasn't just observation. It was survival. It was understanding. It was belonging. Sailors steered across oceans guided by stars. Farmers planted crops in time with the Pleiades. Great temples were built to greet the rising solstice sun. The sky became a trusted calendar, and to mark time with stars instead of alarms. That is sacred. Asterisk. Now picture yourself lying there, not today, but centuries ago. No glowing lights, no rooftops hiding the heavens, no digital time blinking beside your bed, just skywide and endless spilling above you. Each night, the sky would tilt slightly. The stars would return to different places. The moon would change its face, and you, without needing to count, or name, or calculate, would feel it in your bones. The year is turning. The world is moving. Time is unfolding, not in minutes, but in meaning. You might not have known the names of constellations, but you would have known their feel. That feeling of watching Orion rise after months away, or the soft flicker of a summer star just beginning to fade. It told you where you were in the great wheel of the seasons. Time was never just invention. It was inheritance passed from the stars to your skin, from the sky into your breath. The word calendar itself comes from the Latin calendae, the day the new moon was first seen. Hour, once, meant a moment of prayer, measured not by digits, but by the passage of the sun. Even the 7-day week traces back to 7 visible wanderers in the sky. The sun, the moon, and the 5 planets seen with the naked eye. Our entire way of living, once shaped by the sky. We didn't just measure time that way, we lived by it. The rhythm of days was slow, graceful, guided by light and shadow, not alarms. Even now, though it may seem distant, buried beneath pixels and push notifications, the sky is still keeping time. If you step outside and lift your eyes, you'll see it, still circling, still whispering, still faithful. The stars don't chase, they don't hurry, they just turn quiet, an ancient reminding you that time is not just what's on your screen, but what's unfolding everywhere at once. Look closely, and you'll realize something almost magical. When you see a star, you are looking back in time. That light left its home hundreds, sometimes thousands, of years ago. It crossed the dark ocean of space at the speed of light, faster than anything else in existence, and arrived at your eye only now. This now, you are not just looking at a star, you're witnessing the past still glowing. Isn't that a wonder? It's a kind of miracle, really, that the sky is layered with time, each speck of starlight, a different age, each constellation, a story begun long ago. They gather above you in silence, not demanding anything, just existing, just being, and in places untouched by city lights, where mountains rise and ancient stones, remember, people still lie beneath that sky, still watching, still listening, because the stars have not stopped turning. You don't need a telescope to feel their rhythm. You don't need equations or a calendar. You only need your breath, your quiet, your attention. The sky is not just out there, is within you too. So tonight, let your thoughts rise like kites into that starry expanse. Let the silver hush of the moon pass softly across your mind. Let the constellations swirl slowly above and around you, not asking anything, not judging, only moving as they always have. And perhaps, as you rest, you'll remember something older than memory. That time once felt like wonder, not a schedule, not a countdown, but a kind of dream. The turning of the earth, the dance of stars, the silent rhythm of sleep. It still is. Time isn't something to chase. It's something to be inside of, something to breathe, to float in, to trust. And now, as you lie quietly, at the edge of dreams, you are not racing forward. You are right where you are meant to be, because the world is still turning, the stars are still circling, and you, quiet, soft starlit, you are still keeping time, not with numbers, but with being. Time was never a warning, it didn't ring out like an alarm. It was a whisper, spoken in light and shadow. And even now, as your breath softens and the stars hum their ancient lullaby, a question begins to rise gently within you. If the sky once taught us time, what has time taught the mind? Your memory stirs like mist, not fully awake, not yet asleep. You float between awareness and dream, where time itself moves like a quiet stream beside you. You've heard it said time is a river. But what does that mean, really? Not a river you can touch or cross, not one you can dam or freeze with your hands. And yet, it flows, unseen, unstoppable, and soft. It carries you gently forward, not with rush, but with certainty. Even now, lying still, eyes closed, breathing slowly, you are drifting in it. Each second passes like a ripple. Each thought you let go of is carried quietly downstream. There is no return to yesterday. There is no leap toward tomorrow. All that exists is this current moment, the now that cradles you. A philosopher once said, you can't step into the same river twice, because the water has changed, and so have you. That's the essence of time. It doesn't repeat. It doesn't rewind. Even the familiar your morning rituals, the voices you love, the places you walk are never quite the same. The light is different. You are different. The river of time has flowed on. Still, we try to hold on. We take photos. We write in journals. We build calendars and monuments. Small attempts to slow the river, but time doesn't stop. It doesn't erase the past, it makes room for what is becoming. And you are not standing outside of time. You are woven into it. Every part of you moves with it. Cells renew. Skin is shed. New thoughts bloom. Old ones fade. You are not who you were yesterday. You are not yet who you will be. You are in motion, always becoming. It can feel unsettling, this endless change. We crave stillness. We reach for something steady. But rivers, too, have form. They carve landscapes, nourish forests, give life wherever they go. So does time. It shapes your days. It builds your stories. It deepens your soul. Think of your life not as a list of fixed moments, but as a flowing shape, winding, rising, falling, spiraling toward something unknown. Sometimes time slows down, in waiting, in grief, in stillness. Other times, it races ahead through laughter, through surprise, through joy. It's not even, but it's always moving. In your mind, you sometimes swim upstream. You revisit old words, retrace old paths. That's okay. Memory is how we hold echoes of the river. But even in memory, you are drifting forward because the present doesn't wait. It doesn't punish. It simply is. Time doesn't ask for anything. It doesn't need you to control it. All it asks is that you feel it, float in it, trust it. Because time carries you. It holds you. You don't need to fight the current. You don't need to steer. You can simply rest. And in that rest, something beautiful happens. The world slows. A sigh stretches long. A breath feels rich. The quiet becomes full. This is the undercurrent of life, the hidden rhythm behind everything. Let yourself be carried. Let time be not something to measure, but something to feel. Let it be tender. Let it be kind. Let it guide you even when you don't know where you're going. Because tonight, right now, you are more in the river than ever. In thought, in sleep, in being, you are flowing from childhood to this moment. Tangentially, patiently. Time will carry you to all the moments still waiting to be lived. And while you drift, time is shaping you. Not with force, but with quiet continuity. You don't need to grip it. You only need to feel it moving. The current beneath you, the stillness around you, the hush of the river that never stops. You are not lost. You are not alone, because time touches everything, and everything, every memory, every breath touches time. As the river moves forward, your thoughts grow softer, like leaves falling gently on water, spinning, floating, resting, somewhere ahead. This river will meet something else, a quiet pool where memory gathers, where the mind bends back, searching for what once was, but not yet. For now, let go, drift, and listen for the very first ripple of remembering. Because time flows forward, yes, but your mind, your gentle, wandering mind, knows how to look back. You don't need to paddle upstream. You only need to remember. The scent passes wet earth. After rain ends suddenly, you're small again, a child barefoot in a garden, mud between your toes, sky wide above. Nothing has changed. Everything has shifted. That's memory. It doesn't obey clocks. It bends them. It loops and weaves like a ribbon through thought. Your body stays here calm and still, but your mind slips through the folds of time like breeze through linen. You are time traveling not with gears or science, but with senses, with emotion, with feeling. You were born with this gift. From your very first memory, your mind began collecting echoes. Every face you've loved, every quiet goodbye, every sunlight-dappled afternoon. They are stored inside you, waiting to bloom again when the moment is right. A melody, a texture, a scent. They become doorways. They let you step back into moments that shaped you. Some memories blur like fogged windows, faces half remembered, names that hover just out of reach. This forgetting is not a flaw. It is part of being human. your memory is not infinite. It is shaped by meaning. You remember what stirred you, what marked your soul, what left a quiet fingerprint on your thoughts. The rest, it floats away like morning mist, like foam drifting down a river. But even forgotten moments are not lost. Somewhere in the quiet folds of your mind, they still move. Sleep brings them back. In dreams, your mind gathers fragments, reshaping them into something new. It never stops working, even in rest. Each night, deep in your brain, the hippocampus replays the day deciding what to hold, what to let go. This silent curation is essential. Without sleep, your thoughts become tangled, your memory foggy, and time itself begins to feel broken. But in sleep, true, soft, uninterrupted sleep, the shelves of your mind remain ordered. Your inner library stays intact. So tonight, as you lie still and calm, know that remembering is happening quietly, even now. Maybe tomorrow, a memory will rise that feels lighter, a thought softened, a moment newly seen. This is your brain's quiet magic, and memory doesn't only look back, it also looks forward. Did you know? The same part of your brain that recalls the past is also the part that imagines the future. Memory and imagination are twins, two reflections in the same pool. To look back and to look ahead, both use the same gentle tools. You draw on memory to dream, to plan, to hope. Even now, as your body rests and your thoughts drift like smoke, a future version of you is beginning to form. Memory is the seed. The future is the bloom. Let that comfort you. You are not drifting aimlessly. You are carried, gently, in a river with echoes flowing on both sides, past and possibility. As your breath softens tonight, your thoughts may visit the past not with longing, not with regret, but with quiet recognition. There you are, becoming, and here you are still, changing, moving, remembering. And then, without trying, your mind leans forward, not urgently, not with pressure, just softly. You think of something undone, something you hope for, something uncertain. This flicker is a gift. You, unlike any other creature, can imagine the future, not just the next hour but years. You can dream entire forests that have not yet grown. You can speak to people you've never met. You can live 1,000 lives in thought before morning. This ability has a name, mental time travel, and it lives in the same seahorse-shaped folds of your brain, the hippocampus. It remembers the past and rehearses what might be. Your brain pulls from memory, reshapes pieces, sketches out new possibilities. It creates a soft futurist scene, a moment, a maybe. Sometimes this brings joy. Sometimes it stirs worry. That's part of the beauty. The future is unknowable, and yet you keep reaching for it. That reaching is not fear, it's wonder. It means you're alive. It means you are growing. Even now, in stillness, your thoughts travel. Every gentle hope is a seed in the garden of what will be. Your brain, especially the prefrontal cortex, just behind your brow, lights the way. Like a lighthouse, it scans the horizon. It plays quiet, if then games. If I choose this path, where might it lead? If I say this, what might they feel? You are rehearsing futures, not out of anxiety, but preparation. Your brain builds bridges across the unknown. But yes, this gift can feel heavy. The weight of tomorrows can be tiring. That's why rest is sacred. That's why night matters. In sleep, you do not need to solve the future. You only need to breathe and let it unfold. The future is not far. It begins with your next breath. Inhale, and something stirs. Exhale, and something opens. This moment, this exact second, was once part of your imagination. The version of you lying here now was once a whisper in the mind of yesterday. And here you are, still, becoming awake in the quiet, aware of the soft breath of time. So tonight, let your mind stretch forward gently, not to grasp, not to fix, but to wonder. What laughter awaits you tomorrow? What kindness is already on its way? What softness will surprise you, just beyond the edge of sleep? You don't need to answer. You only need to feel how the future lives quietly inside you, already forming like dew before dawn. And as your thoughts deepen into stillness, you might begin to wonder not only about the future, but about how we first tried to measure its passing, long before there were digital clocks and ticking hands. We tried to understand time, not with machines, but with rhythm, with story, with tools crafted by human hands, the ones we trusted to anchor us in the flow of days. You've seen them all your life, the glowing digits on a phone, the ticking clock on a wall, the watch on your wrist, each second, like a raindrop, falling into the story of your life. Every minute holds meaning. Every hour becomes a frame for memory. But tonight, you are invited to look again. What is a second, really? What is this ticking we trust so deeply? Is it truth or simply something we've agreed to believe? Lie still. Let the counting fade. Let breath replace the beat. Let us drift, now into a world before numbers, a world of rhythm, of cycles, of light and shadow. Before time was measured, it was felt. The rising sun, the cooling air, the tilt of seasons. That was time. That was the story we first listened to. But then, we wanted more precision, more control, and so we carved time into pieces. We built tools, water clocks, wax candles, sand glasses. Time began to fall like grains, like drops, like melted wax. But those were not time, they were only our attempt to name it. Asterisk. The mechanical clock arrived much later, in the shadowed halls of the Middle Ages. Gears turned, bells chimed, weights swung like silent pendulums of control. These clocks no longer followed the sky. They followed their own rhythm, detached from stars, separate from seasons. For the first time, time was no longer cosmic, it was crafted, and we listened. We obeyed. We rose when it rang. We prayed when it chimed. We ate, worked, rested no longer when the sun said so, but when the machine told us it was time. And though these tools helped us organize, helped ships sail and cities grow, they also began to change how we felt time. What was once a flowing presence became a ticking box, a schedule to meet, a minute to beat. We began to see time not as a companion, but as a master. We raced it. We feared it. We tried to capture it in calendars, measure it in seconds, count it in wages and deadlines. And yet, the stars still turned. Even as our clocks ticked louder, the old rhythms never vanished. The sun still rose. The moon still changed. The tides still moved in ancient cycles. Beneath our modern lives, the old time, the deep time still breathed quietly. Tonight, you are returning to that older rhythm. You are lying still, eyes closed, letting go of the ticking, returning to the pulse beneath it. What if time was never meant to be chopped into seconds? What if it was always meant to be felt in heartbeats, in sunsets, in soft seasons of the soul? Even now, the modern world is filled with reminders of the past. Stone sundials that once marked the day by the sun's shadow. Cathedrals whose bells told farmers when to rest. Villages that rose with the rooster, not the ringtone. Time lived among us, then not above us. Not demanding, just guiding. Your body remembers that. Somewhere deep inside you, there is a knowing. A feeling that time does not live only in devices, but in you, in your pulse, in your breath, in the quiet tide of your thoughts as they rise and fall like waves in a moonlit bay. This is why sleep stories matter, because they return us to that feeling not of control, but of companionship. You are not ruled by time tonight. You are held by it. You are being carried, gently, through a story that unfolds like petals at dusk. And now, perhaps, you feel yourself drifting, not just into sleep, but into something larger, a slower time, a deeper time, one where moments stretch, where hours soften, where the ticking fades into stillness. But there's more still to uncover. We've spoken of clocks and memories, of sun and moon. But what about speed? What about the strange truth that time does not always move the same? In your daily life, time feels constant. A second is a second. A minute is always 60 beats. But is it really? What if I told you that time can stretch, that it can bend and flex like a ribbon in wind, that deep in the fabric of space itself, time dances to rules most clocks can't measure? You don't need equations to feel it. You've sensed it before. You've felt how moments of joy vanish in a blink, and how waiting, when anxious or afraid, can feel endless. A minute in laughter is gone too soon. A minute in fear lasts forever. This isn't just emotion, it's perception. Your brain, your body, your being shape how you feel time. And science has shown us that time itself can bend. That it's not just something we walk through, it's part of the very universe we live in. Einstein called it relativity. The idea that time, like space, can stretch and twist depending on speed and gravity. The faster you move, the slower time flows for you. The closer you are to a massive object like a star or planet, the more time bends. It sounds like science fiction, but it's not. Astronauts who live aboard the International Space Station age just a tiny bit slower than we do on Earth. Their clocks tick differently, not because they're broken, but because of motion, because of gravity, because time is not fixed. Time is part of the universe's soft architecture. Not a stage where events unfold, but a player in the drama itself. A dimension we move through, just like height, width, and depth. And here's where it gets even more poetic. If time can bend, then perhaps there is no universal now. Perhaps your now, different from someone else's. Perhaps every moment is personal, a thread woven into the tapestry of your life, and only your life. So what then is this moment? This exact moment, right now, as you lie breathing in quiet, is it shared, or is it yours alone? That question isn't meant to puzzle, it's meant to open a door into wonder, because time, when viewed this way, is not just a stream that carries us. It is a landscape, a shape, a terrain we move through, and it moves through us, a place where past, present, and future are more like rooms in a house, not a single line we must follow. You are not just flowing forward, you are existing within a beautiful, mysterious structure, one shaped by love, and memory, and gravity, and light. This makes your story even more meaningful, because every moment you live, every smile, every breath, every silence is stitched into a grand pattern, one that bends, one that moves, one that shimmers like starlight in a dream. And tonight, in the softness of your rest, you are gently touching the edges of that truth. You are not just falling asleep, you are stepping sideways into time, into the quiet truth that clocks do not always capture. The truth that time is not only what ticks, it's what breathes. As the world turned and our minds reached outward, we built a way to measure our days, not by the warmth of sunrises or the hush of twilight, but by the tick of a clock. Slowly, gently, it became our compass, our quiet commander, the invisible hand shaping our days. Yet what it truly measures is not time itself, but motion, vibrations, rotations, patterns of change. A day is the Earth's spin, a month is the moon's embrace around us, but a second, it is not found in nature's breath, but in the steady rhythm of cesium atoms. Nearly 9.5 billion pulses per second, vibrating in silence, precise and cold. Still, that's not how you feel time. You don't sense cesium. You don't hear those invisible ticks. You feel time as softness or weight, as a lull or a rush. A moment waiting can stretch endlessly. A day of joy may vanish in the blink of an eye. Yet the clock insists they are the same. That's the quiet trick we live under, the illusion that time is one fixed rhythm. Inside us, it moves like a tide, elastic, bending, sometimes still, sometimes swift, and yet the ticking continues, etched into our schedules, our schools, our systems. We look at the clock more often than we look at the sky. But in the stillness of sleep, in the deep quiet of meditation, something else returns, an older rhythm, one that doesn't count or divide, but simply flows. Not in ticking beats, but in waves, gentle, slow, without direction or demand. And in that wave, a question rises. If the clock is only a map, what does the true land beneath look like? Perhaps time does not march in a straight line. Perhaps it curves and echoes, pulses and fades. Perhaps it is not outside of us, but made of us, rising with breath, falling with thought, swelling with feeling, and yet we cling to the illusion of structure because it holds us together. It gives us meetings, countdowns, New Year's, and shared midnights. We build trains, markets, calendars around this collective dream. It works because we all agree to believe in it. But when night falls and the digital faces go dark, that shared illusion begins to slip away. What remains is more intimate, a rhythm felt deep within, the subtle hum of your body's own timekeeping, not measured in numbers, but in presence now. As you lie here, you are not inside an hour. You are simply in a moment, one that widens and softens with breath. You could remain here for minutes, or for what feels like eternity. Inside you, time no longer ticks. It drifts, it pulses, it exhales. You begin to move differently. No rush, no deadlines. You eat when hunger whispers. You sleep when the silence deepens. You speak when words feel ready. You are not ruled by the minute, but guided by a sense deeper than clocks. And in this place beneath the ticking illusion, you find calm, because clocks may count time, but they cannot create it. They reflect only one narrow thread from a tapestry too vast to chart. And in that thought, as you drift now, something else unfolds. If clocks are only mirrors, then what is time? Truly, you begin to wonder, what happens when time bends? When it is stretched, not by feeling alone, but by the fabric of the universe itself. In the quiet mind of a man named Albert Einstein, time did not tick evenly, everywhere. It curved, it stretched, it changed. You may have felt it already, some moments lingering, others flashing past. What if that's not just a feeling, but a fact? Close your eyes. Imagine a train, rushing so fast it blurs. You stand still as it flies by. Inside, someone lights a candle. To them, the flame rises straight up. To you, outside, it tilts backward, pulled by motion. The question, if light always moves the same, how can we both see different things at the same time? Einstein's answer changed everything. Time is not fixed. It bends. It shifts depending on motion and place. This is not guesswork. This is relativity tested, real, happening even now in your body and above in the stars. Let's return to that train. If it were to move near the speed of light, time inside it would slow. Not a trick, not a dream. From your still perspective, the passenger's seconds would drip like syrup, thick and slow. This is time dilation, the slowing of time at great speed. For the traveler, all feels normal, but to you, their clock crawls. At light speed, time nearly halts. You won't feel this walking down a street, but the universe does. There is another player in this story, gravity. Imagine two clocks, one atop a mountain, one down near the sea. The one lower, closer to Earth's pole, ticks slower. Not by much, but enough. Gravity curves space and time with it. It doesn't just pull you down, it pulls your seconds, too, stretching them as if time itself were fabric drawn under weight. You are not floating in space. You are floating in space-time, a woven field where place and moment are braided together. When something massive, like a planet, a star, or a black hole sits upon this field, it dents both distance and duration. Time near great gravity slows. It curves, It sinks. This is not just an idea. It's reality. The satellites that guide your travels, they correct for this time bending just to stay accurate. Your GPS lives inside this dance. You live inside this field, shaped always by where and how you move through it. If you could move fast enough, truly fast, you'd age more slowly than someone left behind. If you sat by a black hole, just on the edge, you could watch centuries pass for others, while only moments passed for you. This isn't fantasy. It's the quiet truth of the cosmos. And it came not from rockets, but from reflection. From a man who sat with silence, with wonder, and imagined time not as a ruler, but as a river. You too can sense that river now. Time, no longer a rigid line, but a soft and shifting path. You don't need to fly to feel it. You feel it already, in waiting, in dreaming, in grief, and in love. Your clock is not just on your wrist, it's in your feelings, in your breath, in your memory, and as you lie still now, something even deeper begins to stir. If time bends around motion and mass, then what else might it bend around? When the weight becomes unimaginable, when the mass is beyond reason, time itself begins to break away from the familiar. What happens when time meets the deepest gravity the universe can offer? When it brushes against a black hole and the seconds begin to drip into silence. Lift your thoughts, past the clouds, beyond the blue ceiling of the sky, above even the shining sun. Out there, space stretches wide, vast, ancient, and unknowable. In these outer reaches of the universe, time doesn't tick, it doesn't march or chase. It drifts, slowly, like fog sliding across a quiet ocean. Out here, time is less a rhythm and more a breath, soft, thin, stretched over eons. Some of the stars you see tonight are ghosts. Their light, though bright and twinkling now, was cast long ago, centuries, even millions of years before you were born. That glow you see, it's the past, arriving now. Not as memory, but as photons. This starlight is older than mountains, older than the oceans, older than words. And here you are, lying still, being touched by it. Ancient light, meeting your present skin. This is how time moves in the cosmos. Breathe. There's no need to rush. At the center of our galaxy, the Milky Way, a colossal wheel of stars, turns slowly. One orbit of our solar system around that galactic heart takes about 225 million years. Just one full turn since the days when dinosaurs walked the earth. Minutes vanish here. Days blur. Years lose meaning. But still, everything moves gently. Vast clouds of dust and gas, called nebulae, fold in on themselves, shaping stars over thousands of years. New suns ignite. Planets swirl into form, moons gather, atmospheres build, all of it unfolding like petals beneath a still surface. The universe never stops, but it never hurries either, and in that lesson lies something gentle. To go slowly isn't to be lost, it's to be aligned, in step, with the great rhythm above. When we gaze through telescopes, we're not just looking into distance, we're looking into time. Some galaxies are so far away, their light has taken over 13 billion years to reach us. It began its journey moments after the universe itself was born. And now, tonight, it arrives reaching you in silence, like a message carried across eternity. The universe continues to expand. Its stars burn on. Its distances grow. But to feel this time, to truly sense it, you must let go of numbers, let go of schedules, and instead, listen for the pulse of galaxies, the swirl of cosmic dust, the slow motion of everything that is. And you, though small, are not separate from this rhythm. You are made of it, the iron in your blood, forged in the heart of exploding stars, the calcium in your bones, carried here by winds born in nebulae, the carbon in your breath, drifted through ancient clouds long before Earth had oceans. You are not outside of cosmic time. You are cosmic time. your very body remembers. The stars dot, and perhaps quietly, the stars remember you. Because the universe forgets nothing. It stretches, yes, it changes, but nothing is thrown away. A single photon, a single thought, a single breath, all ripple outward, forever. There's no rush. The stars aren't in a hurry. They will burn tomorrow. They will shine next year. They will keep dancing even after you fall asleep. The universe waits, and you are allowed to slow down with it, to feel time not as a pressure, but as a comfort, as a cradle. And in this wide, unhurried moment, you may begin to understand what Einstein once imagined, that time is not separate from space, but stitched into it. That gravity can bend time, that motion can stretch it, and that out here, where galaxies turn and starlight ages gently, time is not a prison, it is a lullaby. It holds you, rocks you, and carries you toward sleep. But even lullabies can shift. Even the gentlest cradles can tip. What happens when time is pulled toward something so dense, so heavy, that not even light can escape? Black holes, the most intense gravity wells in the universe. And when time falls toward one, it does not rush, it slows. Seconds stretch, clocks hesitate. You are drifting again, carried softly forward in thought and stillness. But have you ever asked, why forward? Why not back? Why not sideways, or in loops, like the face of a clock? You can remember a song, a face, a moment, but you can't return to them. You can't wake tomorrow and be in yesterday. Time, it seems, has a direction, a one-way road, even in a universe filled with curves and orbits. Physicists call it the arrow of time, but it's not clocks that draw this arrow. It's something deeper, something quieter. It's called entropy. Entropy is the quiet truth that all things left untouched drift from order to disorder. It's why ice melts, why a forest grows wild, why a clean room becomes cluttered. It's the reason a shattered cup stays shattered, and why footprints in sand slowly vanish. There are more ways for things to be messy than to be neat. More ways for energy to scatter than to stay gathered. So entropy grows, and time, drawn by that increase, flows forward. Not because it must, but because the future contains more possibilities than the past. And so, like a feather floating on a soft wind, you drift forward into what's next, even if your heart longs to return. But this isn't something to fear. Entropy is not destruction. It's transformation. It's change. It's how stars become planets, how clouds become rain. For something new to form, something old must loosen. The past doesn't disappear because it's behind you. It becomes the ground beneath your feet. And you, right now, are stepping into what comes next. Imagine a warm cup of tea. Feel it in your hands. The heat moves into the air, into your skin. That warmth once gone cannot return, but it's not lost. It has simply diffused, softened, scattered. Your days do the same. One after another, they drift into memory. Their heat, their glow, slowly dissolves into everything you are. Entropy is not chaos. It's the gentle fading of what was into what will be. Even your mind follows this rhythm. You forget, not because you are broken, but because your thoughts must make space, must let go, must open to what's next. Memories don't vanish. They transform. They soften. They fold into the story that keeps unfolding. And strangely, the rules of the universe, the deepest equations that shape particles and waves, do not care which way time flows. Most of them could run forward or backward without a change. Watch them, and you couldn't say if you were watching the beginning or the end. But entropy breaks that balance. It gives time its direction. It gives the future its shape. A slope, a gentle leaning, subtle but profound, that gives time its tilt, its forward pull. And in that slope, you live. Your body, your breath, Your every cell is part of a slow cascade. Heat moving from warmth to coolness. Cells burning, energy as they divide and grow. You are a brief island of order in a sea that drifts steadily toward disorder, not resisting, not fighting, but dancing with it. Even your sleep follows this quiet tide. You begin the day full, charged alert, and by night, you release. You return to stillness. Every evening, a soft surrender. Every morning, a gentle rebuilding. This, too, is time. Not a clock on the wall, but a pattern of giving and returning, of unraveling and reweaving. So when you spill something, or forget a name, or feel nostalgia rising like a tide, pause. Remember, this is how the world moves. Time does not loop because entropy does not rewind. It blurs edges. It softens shape. It opens new paths. You are made to go forward, not out of force, but out of nature's quiet flow. And even now, as you rest here, your body is doing just that. Heat slowly slipping from your skin, energy settling, breath deepening. In stillness, you lean into tomorrow. You don't need to move. Time carries you gently. And yet, there is another mystery, gravity, that silent sculptor of space and time. It can stretch the seconds, slow them to almost nothing, even stop them altogether. So what happens when entropy's slow forward current meets gravity's infinite depth? What happens when the arrow of time falls into a black hole and vanishes? Night deepens. You lie still, breath smooth, thoughts flickering like distant stars scattered, quiet, glowing, and somewhere, far beyond this room, a different kind of night waits. Not the soft velvet of sleep, not the dream dark of rest, but the night that hovers at the edge of everything we understand. The night that breathes from the mouth of a black hole. Out there, space grows heavy, time grows strange. Our rules, the ones we've trusted, named, studied, begin to stretch, to buckle. Beyond the planets, beyond the farthest sunlight, a star has collapsed inward, not in flame, but in surrender. It has folded in on itself. Its mass, now so dense, has become a well from which not even light can escape. This is a black hole, a place where gravity has no surface, no sound, no mercy. Around it, a perfect border forms the event horizon, a point of no return, invisible, silent, absolute. To cross it is to let go of light, of memory, of time itself. And yet, to the outside, nothing quite crosses. You watch, and the falling object slows. Its light stretches red, its motion freezes. Time at the edge appears to stop. This isn't a metaphor, this is physics. Einstein's theory tells us, the closer something moves toward intense gravity, the slower its time becomes. To the object falling in, nothing changes. It continues downward. But to you, watching from afar, it never finishes falling. It hovers at the brink, clinging to the edge as time itself seems to pause. And what lies beyond that edge, we do not know. Even the best equations falter. Inside, the laws of space and time collapse inward, toward a singularity, a point of infinite density. No surface, no size, just endless pull. Matter and time compressed together, not destroyed, but transformed into something we have yet to name. It's difficult to imagine. We're used to time as a flowing river, but here, the river dives, curls, folds, then vanishes. Inside the singularity, there's no before, no after, no rhythm, only gravity, only stillness. But even in this strange depth, the black hole moves. It spins. It drags the fabric of time itself, swirling it around. This spinning region is called the ergosphere, a distorted funnel where, in theory, you could steal energy. Come near and leave with more than you arrived. And this is not just theory. Black holes, for all their hunger, are not eternal. They whisper, They glow. Slowly, through something called Hawking radiation, they lose particles. They evaporate. They fade. Even the deepest wells of time have an end. Their clock just ticks so slowly, it feels like forever. Perhaps a black hole is not an end at all, but a question. A soft echo of eternity pressed into the universe. And tonight, lying here in stillness, you feel that question too. Because time doesn't only bend in space. It bends in you, in your wonder, in your waiting, in your grief. The black hole isn't just out there. It's inside every question that begins with where does it all go? Do memories disappear? Do the things we love vanish forever? Or are they simply transformed? Science offers answers, but it also offers awe. The black hole reminds us, some questions aren't meant to be solved, only held. To rest in mystery is not to be lost. It's to stand quietly at the edge of understanding at your own event horizon of wonder. And in that wonder, you begin to see, even in collapse, there is potential. At the center of this gravity, where time curves and space folds, something happens to the things that fall in. Some believe that nothing is lost. Not really. That every bit of information is preserved in some strange way, written across the surface like a record, as if the universe remembers everything, as if nothing is truly forgotten. Maybe you, too, are built this way. Maybe every moment, every joy, every sorrow you've lived isn't gone, just hidden. Folded within you, waiting. Memory, like light, may disappear from view, but not from existence. And now, as your thoughts soften further, as breath deepens, you feel the silence, not as absence, but as something sacred, reverence, wonder, a gravity that doesn't pull you down, but inward. If gravity can stretch time, if space can fold, if even light can vanish without end, then what happens to time, right here, on Earth, when you're no longer watching it? What does time become when it disappears inside your dreams? Sleep has begun to take you. Your body, weightless. Limbs adrift. Breath, gentle, rhythmic. The noise of the day has faded. The to-do lists, the lights, the ticking, all drifting behind. And something else begins. A new world, a quieter one. You are crossing into dream time now. Here, the rules no longer apply. Time folds, it spins, it loops and reverses. A single dream might feel like a lifetime, or pass in a blink. You may wake and wonder, was I gone for minutes or hours? In dreams, you can live a year between two heartbeats. A slope, a gentle leaning, subtle but profound, that gives time its tilt, its forward pull, and in that slope, you live. Your body, your breath, your every cell is part of a slow cascade. Heat moving from warmth to coolness. Cells burning, energy as they divide and grow. You are a brief island of order in a sea that drifts steadily toward disorder, not resisting, not fighting, but dancing with it. Even your sleep follows this quiet tide. You begin the day full, charged, alert, and by night, you release. You return to stillness. Every evening, a soft surrender. Every morning, a gentle rebuilding. This, too, is time. Not a clock on the wall, but a pattern of giving and returning, of unraveling and reweaving. So when you spill something, or forget a name, or feel nostalgia rising like a tide, pause. Remember, this is how the world moves. Time does not loop because entropy does not rewind. It blurs edges. It softens shape. It opens new paths. You are made to go forward, not out of force, but out of nature's quiet flow. And even now, as you rest here, your body is doing just that. Heat slowly slipping from your skin, energy settling, breath deepening. In stillness, you lean into tomorrow. You don't need to move. Time carries you gently. And yet, there is another mystery, gravity, that silent sculptor of space and time. It can stretch the seconds, slow them to almost nothing, even stop them altogether. So what happens when entropy's slow forward current meets gravity's infinite depth? What happens when the arrow of time falls into a black hole and vanishes? Night deepens. You lie still, breath smooth, thoughts flickering like distant stars scattered, quiet, glowing, and somewhere, far beyond this room, a different kind of night waits. Not the soft velvet of sleep, not the dream dark of rest, but the night that hovers at the edge of everything we understand. The night that breathes from the mouth of a black hole. Out there, space grows heavy, time grows strange. Our rules, the ones we've trusted, named, studied, begin to stretch, to buckle. Beyond the planets, beyond the farthest sunlight, a star has collapsed inward, not in flame, but in surrender. It has folded in on itself. Its mass, now so dense, has become a well from which not even light can escape. This is a black hole, a place where gravity has no surface, no sound, no mercy. Around it, a perfect border forms the event horizon, a point of no return, invisible, silent, absolute. To cross it is to let go of light, of memory, of time itself. And yet, to the outside, nothing quite crosses. You watch, and the falling object slows. Its light stretches red, its motion freezes. Time at the edge appears to stop. This isn't a metaphor, this is physics. Einstein's theory tells us, the closer something moves toward intense gravity, the slower its time becomes. To the object falling in, nothing changes. It continues downward. But to you, watching from afar, it never finishes falling. It hovers at the brink, clinging to the edge as time itself seems to pause. And what lies beyond that edge, we do not know. Even the best equations falter. Inside, the laws of space and time collapse inward, toward a singularity, a point of infinite density. No surface, no size, just endless pull. Matter and time compressed together, not destroyed, but transformed into something we have yet to name. It's difficult to imagine. We're used to time as a flowing river, but here, the river dives, curls, folds, then vanishes. Inside the singularity, there's no before, no after, no rhythm. Only gravity, only stillness. But even in this strange depth, the black hole moves. It spins. It drags the fabric of time itself, swirling it around. This spinning region is called the ergosphere, a distorted funnel where, in theory, you could steal energy. Come near and leave with more than you arrived. And this is not just theory. Black holes, for all their hunger, are not eternal. They whisper, they glow. Slowly, through something called Hawking radiation, they lose particles. They evaporate. They fade. Even the deepest wells of time have an end. Their clock just ticks so slowly, it feels like forever. Perhaps a black hole is not an end at all, but a question. A soft echo of eternity pressed into the universe. And tonight, lying here in stillness, you feel that question too. Because time doesn't only bend in space. It bends in you, in your wonder, in your waiting, in your grief. The black hole isn't just out there. It's inside every question that begins with where does it all go? Do memories disappear? Do the things we love vanish forever? Or are they simply transformed? Science offers answers, but it also offers awe. The black hole reminds us, some questions aren't meant to be solved, only held. To rest in mystery is not to be lost. It's to stand quietly at the edge of understanding at your own event horizon of wonder. And in that wonder, you begin to see, even in collapse, there is potential. At the center of this gravity, where time curves and space folds, something happens to the things that fall in. Some believe that nothing is lost. Not really. That every bit of information is preserved in some strange way, written across the surface like a record, as if the universe remembers everything. as if nothing is truly forgotten. Maybe you, too, are built this way. Maybe every moment, every joy, every sorrow you've lived isn't gone, just hidden, folded within you, waiting. Memory, like light, may disappear from view, but not from existence. And now, as your thoughts soften further, as breath deepens, you feel the silence, not as absence, but as something sacred, reverence, wonder, a gravity that doesn't pull you down, but inward. If gravity can stretch time, if space can fold, if even light can vanish without end, then what happens to time right here on Earth when you're no longer watching it? What does time become when it disappears inside your dreams? Sleep has begun to take you, your body weightless, limbs adrift, breath gentle, rhythmic. The noise of the day has faded, the to-do lists, the lights, the ticking, all drifting behind, and something else begins. A new world, a quieter one. You are crossing into dream time now. Here, the rules no longer apply. Time folds, it spins, it loops and reverses. A single dream might feel like a lifetime, or pass in a blink. You may wake and wonder, was I gone for minutes or hours? In dreams, you can live a year between two heartbeats. Your mind, now free from the ticking hands of time, begins to move to its own quiet rhythm, one not marked in seconds, but in feelings, sensations, and drifting impressions. Though your body lies still, inside, you might be soaring, running, speaking with voices from long ago, or visiting places you've never truly seen. This isn't just imagination, it's the natural language of a dreaming brain. During REM sleep, when your body is at rest, your brain lights up, your eyes shift, beneath closed lids, as if watching something invisible, but vivid. Deep inside, your thalamus stirs, sending signals not from the outside world, but from memory, from imagination, from the echoes of emotion. Meanwhile, the part of your brain that plans and measures the prefrontal cortex quietly steps back, and in that space, a dream begins. Here, logic dissolves, and time slips out of its straight lines. Events arrive unannounced. A face might transform into a memory. A hallway might melt into an ocean. You might fly, speak with someone who is both stranger and friend. None of it surprises you. You simply accept it. That is the gentle wonder of dreams. They are bedtime stories. The brain tells itself fragments of truth laced with emotion, held together by imagination. Even the strangest dream has roots in your life, in what you've felt, feared, longed for, or glimpsed. Your brain sorts these fragments during sleep, strengthening memories, softening burdens, and deciding what stays and what fades. This process, called consolidation, is part of why sleep matters. Dreams are not noise, they are signals. They are the mind's librarian, quietly reordering the day. Time behaves differently here. Science can't fully measure how long dreams last. Some say they pass in seconds. Others believe they unfold in real time. But inside, they feel vast, as though time itself has a heartbeat, and you are breathing in tune with it. In dreams, you rehearse moments, replay conversations, even explore possible futures. Your mind becomes a quiet stage for your deepest thoughts. And sometimes, you wake up within the dream itself, lucid, aware. In that fragile moment, you might shape what happens. Fly, choose, explore. Yet even then, time defies understanding. A whole imagined journey might pass in what feels like hours, though only minutes slip by in the waking world. So tonight, let your mind drift freely. Let it unhook from schedules and clocks. Let it stretch into the quiet freedom of dreams. Here, you are not measured. You are not bound. You are simply moving through a landscape your mind creates for you where past, present, and future fold gently into each other. When you return, when your eyes open again, you may find your body has kept a rhythm of its own. Not one set by alarms, but by light. Because even as you dream, your body listens. It listens to the slow rise of dawn, to the cooling of night, to the signals written deep within your cells. You carry a clock, but it isn't made of gears or glass. It is made of you. This inner clock biological time is ancient. It was ticking inside the bodies of our ancestors, long before we had words for hours or minutes. In the center of your brain, just above where your eyes meet, lives the SEN, the suprachiasmatic nucleosa master clock, no bigger than a grain of rice. And yet, it orchestrates everything: your sleep, your alertness, your hunger, your temperature, your energy. It is tuned not to noise, but to light. As sunlight touches your eyes each morning, the SEN stirs, lowering melatonin, the hormone that invites sleep, and guiding your body gently toward waking. By day, your temperature rises, your focus sharpens, your body hums with activity. Then, as evening nears, the rhythm turns again. Melatonin builds, body temperature cools, thoughts quieten, and rest returns. And this rhythm is forgiving. Even if you drink coffee late or stare into bright screens, even if you ignore the signals, it keeps moving, patient and quiet, waiting for you to remember. Deep within you, every part, your skin, lungs, liver, muscles, has its own clock, following its own gentle pattern. These are your peripheral timekeepers. They ensure digestion happens when needed, that energy is preserved when darkness falls, that healing begins when rest arrives. You are a symphony of systems, each ticking in harmony, and it's not just you. All of nature moves to this rhythm. Bears hibernate, birds migrate, trees shed their leaves. With the turning light, even the smallest living things, algae, fruit flies, carry these inner clocks. Plants without voices turn their leaves to follow the sun with such precision that you could tell time by watching them. This is the science of chronobiology, study of life's deep timekeeping. And it tells us something comforting. You are not moving through time alone. You are moving with the earth. But in modern life, we sometimes drift away. With glowing screens and late dinners and broken sleep, our rhythms blur. You might feel off balance, groggy, out of sync, but your body waits. It knows the way back. A morning walk in sunlight, a quiet evening without noise, these are enough to begin resetting your internal time. The rhythm never leaves. It only waits to be heard. So tonight, as you rest, listen. Your temperature dips, your muscles release. Melatonin begins to spread like ink in water. Your heartbeat softens. Your organs shift to night mode. Your skin begins to heal. Your brain, in silence, begins to cleanse itself, washing away the day's clutter, restoring its balance. This is not just sleep. This is time unfolding within you, a deep tide moving through your body. You don't need to control it. You don't need to earn it. You only need to rest. Because time is not about schedules or speed. It's about being. You are not ahead. You are not behind. You are exactly where you're meant to be, aligned with the turning earth. And, as you settle deeper now, a new awareness may bloom. That time is not just something you watch in the sky or feel in your thoughts. It lives in the body. It breathes through your cells. Even in stillness, your body remembers the rhythm of time. Even now, as you lie here in the hush of night, part of you is waiting. Perhaps for sleep, perhaps for peace, perhaps for something you don't yet have words for. And in that waiting, something extraordinary happens. Time changes. A moment of laughter vanishes in an instant. A quiet moment stretches endlessly. A watched clock feels frozen. We say time flies when we're happy, drags when we wait. These aren't just sayings. They're reflections of something real. Time is not always fixed. It stretches, contracts, breathes with our attention. In waiting, we notice. We feel each second. We examine, reflect, and time, in our experience, begins to slow. This is called subjective time, the way our emotions, our hopes, Our fears shape our sense of its passing. A child counts days before a birthday and feels an eternity. A patient awaiting news feels suspended. A lover waits for a message and hears every tick echo louder. Your mind is not just a clock. It is a storyteller. It fills silence with meaning. It shapes uncertainty into feeling. And so, waiting is not stillness. It is transformation. Think of a seed resting in the soil. It looks quiet, but within, tiny roots begin to stretch. The seed is not wasting time. It is preparing. It is growing. You are no different in those in-between moments. Between dreams, between decisions, between chapters of your life, you are not stalled. You are becoming. Even now, as you lie in this bed, waiting for sleep to arrive, something within you is shifting. Your heart is tuning its rhythm. Your brain is lowering its volume. Your thoughts are releasing their grip. This is not emptiness. This is emergence. A slow and silent unfolding that leads you gently, softly, toward rest. Where your awareness currently lingers, you are not racing along a track. You are nestled in a vast, timeless tapestry. And in this vision, every moment of your life is like a star in a constellation, always shining, always present, even when you're not looking. This doesn't mean you are trapped by time. Quite the opposite. It means time may be holding you more gently than you ever realized. Like the sea cradles a drifting boat, like a lullaby wraps around a sleepy child. In this space, the sharp edges of time soften. The ticking clock fades. You are not being chased by minutes. You are being carried. So breathe with that awareness. With each breath, feel the edges of time blur a little more. Let go of the pressure to measure, to define, to rush. The present moment doesn't need to be held onto. It is already holding you. And if the future is already written in possibility, and the past already cradled in memory, then this gentle breath is where you belong. Feel how weightless you are now. Not from floating, but from no longer holding on to urgency. Feel how still the world becomes when you allow time to be a companion, not a command. Even now, the quiet moments in your life, those unremarkable, unnoticed seconds are singing in harmony with the great rhythm of the universe. Perhaps, in this stillness, you sense something else. That time doesn't only carry you, it listens to you. It echoes the emotions you place within it. Joy makes it soar. Grief slows it down. Anticipation winds it tight. Peace lets it drift like clouds. You are not alone in this experience. Every heart beats in time. Every being feels the subtle shape of a moment. Even the stars, even the trees, even the tides, they all move in rhythm, not with clocks, but with being. And tonight, you are part of that rhythm, a thread in the greater fabric, a whisper in the timeless song of all that has ever been. You don't need to reach forward now. The story will wait. You don't need to look back. The memory will remain. All you need to do is be here in this soft pause, in this folded breath, in this quiet cradle of time. And as you rest more deeply, as sleep pulls you gently across the boundary of waking, you might carry with you the knowing that time is more than a line. It is a feeling, a presence, a shape that forms around you, not to trap you but to keep you safe. So rest now, not because the day is done, but because you are part of something larger. A rhythm that holds stars and soil, breath and memory, love and loss. Let your thoughts drift like petals on a quiet stream. Let sleep arrive not like an ending, but like a return to the place where time forgets its form and simply becomes stillness. And when you wake, whenever that may be, you will do so in your own rhythm, not measured by a clock, but by the quiet unfolding of being. By the warmth in your chest, the hush in your mind, the soft unfolding of light. You are not behind. You are not ahead. You are exactly where you need to be. Here, now, timeless, safe, hold, sleep well. Your awareness has gently come to rest. Imagine holding a book, its pages all there, bound in your hands, yet you read them one by one. To you, the story unfolds forward, but the entire tale has always been complete. Maybe time is like that, not a rushing stream, but a woven fabric, and you're tracing one delicate thread. There are moments when time seems to dissolve, completely, when you're deep in meditation, when you're dreaming, when you're fully lost in the joy of something you love. In those moments, time doesn't vanish, you simply step beyond its usual shape. The Greeks once called this kairos, not the time of minutes and hours, but the time of meaning, not quantity, but depth. Kairos lives in the pause before something begins, the quiet between two people, just before a first kiss, the stillness that falls before thunder speaks, the breath you take right before making a decision. You've felt this kind of time, you've lived inside it, and maybe, in its softness, it's more real than anything you could ever measure. So what is time's true shape? To a glacier, it's slow and sculpting. To a child, it moves in leaps and bursts. To a tree, it gathers in rings, silent, invisible, steady. To you, time feels like memory, like dreaming, like hoping. There is no single shape, only experience. And experience, when you really feel it, is always soft. Let it soften you now. Let go of the straight line. Let time become curved, a breath, a star, a circle slowly opening. Because timelessness isn't empty, it's full. So full, so complete, that the need to measure simply slips away. Right now, you're not tracking moments. You're not rushing forward or looking back. You're not even waiting. You're simply here, fully, and that is enough. This quiet shape of now doesn't ask for your effort. It just asks for your presence. So breathe, slowly, deeply, let the spiral continue. Let the loop unfold. Let the now expand around you. And in this stillness, you may begin to wonder if time shapes me, moves through me, lives in my breath. Then am I not a traveler too? Not across space, but across time itself. You may not wear a glowing suit. You may not enter a humming portal, but you are journeying just the same. Not as fiction, but as truth. Since your first breath, you've been moving through time, not in circles, not in place, but forward. Moment by moment, thought by thought, you've passed through daylight and darkness, through laughter and change, through silence and becoming. Your skin has touched new air. Your voice has softened or deepened. Your eyes have carried more light, more stories, more tears. And all along, you've been gathering quiet keepsakes, souvenirs of your journey. Memories tucked gently in the folds of your mind. Joys that hum inside your bones. Even your heartbeat remembers how time moved when you were first held, or when you stood watching the sun fall and felt something inside you rise. These are the markers of your time, not in hours or dates, but in meaning. And even now, your body is quietly keeping track. Your cells divide at a rhythm shaped by time. Your hair stores the story of your nourishment. Your bones record you, layer by layer, like tree rings holding the years. You're not just in time, you're of time. Time has written itself into you, line by invisible line. And still, you don't move through time only one way. In your mind, you move across it freely. You return to the past in memory. You fly into the future with imagination. In dreams and in waking wonder, you live 1,000 lives. Each time you remember, your brain lights up the same way it did in that moment. You're not just looking back, you're stepping inside again. And when you picture what hasn't happened yet, you carve new paths forward, rehearsing, shaping, becoming. Your thoughts walk these paths. Your hopes step toward what hasn't yet touched your hands. And you're not alone in this movement. The time you live affects others. The moments you share, the memories you help shape, these are the threads of connection. A conversation becomes a shared moment in someone else's life. A look exchanged is a thread between two timelines. Without you, entire memories might not exist. And even the seconds you forget can ripple through someone else's day. You are traveling through time with others, across family, across generations, across lives. Even your DNA carries stories. It holds the instructions shaped over millions of years. Molecules that remember how to build an eye, a hand, a heartbeat. Molecules that once felt sunlight and stored it as guidance. You are both ancient and brand new. And the time that moves through you belongs to you, and yet, not only you, it is borrowed, it is bent, it is given. And though the world counts time with ticking clocks, your soul counts it by feeling. So pause now. Rest here in this quiet space. You don't need to rush forward. You don't need to choose. You have traveled far already, and time, ever gentle, has made space for you to simply be. Time is not a tunnel, not a race, not a trap. It's a field, a sea, a vast open sky. You are floating through it, on breath and wonder. And even in sleep, your journey will continue. Your dreams will carry you to places both real and imagined. Your cells will carry out their soft, secret work. And your heart will keep its beat a quiet drummer, marking the distance between what was and what will be. You, beautiful traveler, are a story unfolding, not behind, not ahead, not lost, just becoming. Let time hold you now. Let it wrap around you like a tide that never hurries. Let it cradle you like water cradles a drifting leaf. Let it carry you with kindness. The stars will still spin. The earth will still turn. The smallest particles will still hum their quiet lullabies. And you may close your eyes, knowing that time will not leave you behind. It will guide you forward, inward, deeper, into yourself, because to travel through time is simply to live. And to live is a wonder. Now rest. You've come far, and the path ahead is soft.